We have to find each sum. In the first example, we have two rational numbers. One is positive, one negative. To add rational numbers, we use the same rules like for adding integers. So first we check which of these two numbers is greater, 1/3 or 5/6. If you don't see which of them is greater, we have to find the same denominator. We have 3 and 6 because we have fractions, so we have to have the same denominator, and we will compare only numerators. So we have to find the same denominator for 3 and 6. Let me copy this example one more time. -5/6 we have, and now 3 and 6. So the same denominator, the common denominator will be 6. So we have to multiply the first fraction to get 6 in denominator by 2. We multiply numerator and denominator by the same number always. We cannot multiply only denominator. Whatever we do with denominator, we have to do the same with numerator. So now we have 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus, and in parentheses we have -5/6. And now we see which of these two numbers is greater. We have 2/6 and 5/6, the same denominators, so we have to look only to the numerators. We have 2 and 5. 5 is greater. We forget about negative sign. We compare only the numbers. So 5 is greater than 2. So before the greater number, 5/6 is greater than 2/6, we have negative sign. So we copy this negative sign, we open parentheses, and we subtract from the greater number smaller. The same like for adding integers. So we have 5/6 minus 2/6. So this is equal. Negative sign we have to rewrite, and now in parentheses we have subtraction of fractions. How we do this? We copy denominator and we subtract numerators. We have 5 minus 2. So this is equal. Negative sign we copy denominator, we have to rewrite. 5 minus 2 is 3. We have 3/6. We can reduce by 3. When we reduce, it means we have to divide numerator and denominator by the same number. So we can divide 3 by 3 and 6 by 3. Always when you reduce, you divide numerator and denominator by the same number. Negative sign we have to rewrite. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we solve our first example is -1/2. The second example, again, we have addition of rational numbers. We use the same rule like for adding integers. So when we have one negative number, one positive, first we check which of these two numbers is greater. We forgot about negative sign. In this example, the whole number is 2 and 4. So at that moment, you don't have to change fractions to the same denominator. We see that 2 is less than 4. So 4 is greater number, 4 and 1/4. So before 4, we don't have any sign. It means we have positive. Always when we don't have any sign, it means that this number is positive. So we write positive sign, and in parentheses we subtract from the greater number smaller. So we have 4 and 1/4 minus 2 and 3/8. This is equal. And positive sign we don't have to write. And now we have subtraction of two mixed numbers. So what we can do? We can change this because we have 4 minus 2 whole numbers, so we can do this. And what next? We have to have the same denominator to subtract fractions. So we have 4 and 8. The common denominator will be 8. So we need to multiply 4 by 2. Whatever I did with denominator, I have to do the same with numerator. So we don't have to write positive sign, so we don't need now parentheses. So we have 4, and 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2 and 3 over 8. So this is equal. 4 minus 2 is 2. And now we need to subtract 3 over 8. So let's copy first fraction, 2 over 8. We need also to subtract 3 over 8. So this is equal, because when we subtract fractions, we copy the numerator and subtract numerators. We have 2 minus 3. 2 is less than 3. So we have to borrow 1 from 2. So we will have now 1, and when we borrow 1, we change this 1 to denominator 8. So we have 8 over 8. This is 1 plus 8 over 8, and we have 2 over 8. This is our first number. 8 over 8 is 1. I didn't change our number, so this is 1 plus 1, so it's 2, and 2 over 8, the same what we have at the beginning. And we need to subtract 3 over 8. So this is equal 1. We have to copy, and we have 8 plus 2 is 10, minus we have 3 over 8. So this is equal 1. We rewrite, and now we just subtract these two fractions. We copy the numerator and we subtract numerators. 10 minus 3 is 7. I cannot reduce anything, so this is my solution.